In a country where both rape, domestic violence are such an issue, in a country where whenever victims take onto social media to speak out because our justice system is so poor, in a country where when victims do that, they are met by questions like, what were you wearing? They are met by questions like, oh, we want to hear his side of the story. After a girl comes on here with bruises all over her face, you guys will ask, oh, we want to know what you did. In a country where we have those type of problems, in a country where even if a victim who was silent is reading that post and looks at that comment or that comment section, they will think, oop, I can't even speak out because what is this? This will happen to me. In a country where we have those issues every day, you guys still want to come here and say, I Pearl Thusi's Lala. You guys still want to post her to that Nigerian sound, dun, 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 and act like her story is sketchy. Same Pearl Thusi who told the story not so long ago. She has said the story before, but she didn't mention his name. In that same light, where people in the comments, Abokaya Ndlanga or something, are saying, oh yeah, Pearl Thusi has told me this story before, around 2019, 2010. She told me the story before. She told me the story before, but she didn't mention his name, but da-da-da-da-da. A lot of people are coming forward and saying, yeah, Pearl Thusi has said this to me before. You, person who doesn't know her from a bar of soap, person she also doesn't know, person she would never comment such BS on or under their post. She would never remake. If you had to share your story, she would never do a video doing whatever you're doing to her. In a country where we have all of these issues, you guys still think, Pearl Thusi, oh gosh. And then you wonder why victims are silent. And then you wonder why the statistics are so high. Like, you can't be serious. Because the first thing that comes to you is like, then how come she had a Bible in the... That's your concern. You're not concerned about what she went through. Instead of saying, oh, pal, we stand with you. We're so sorry you went through that. This is such a huge issue. We are so glad he's arrested. We hope you heal. Because not only is she a woman that's living in South Africa and a human being who deserves basic human courtesy and respect and has the right to dignity, but she's also a mother and working hard to raise her daughter in a way that her traumas, because of course that was traumatic, doesn't affect the child. In a country like this, where the child is growing up in this country where it's already effed up, you guys want to come here and just, that's really what you guys want to do. Like, this is the same brain you guys used to cross the road. Okay.
Hello you guys and welcome back to the channel. So the Netflix docu-series Beauty and the Best also features South African TV presenter Pearl Thusi, who went onto the documentary to explain how she once met and spoke with Bester. Now she says that she had no idea at the time about the criminal allegations against Thabo Bester and she distanced herself once the truth emerged. Now Pearl Thusi talked about how she met Thabo through Facebook. At the time, she says that Thabo Bester did DM her in promise for a presenting gig, and she said that she did meet up with Thabo Bester, and unfortunately it didn't turn out the way that she had penned it out to be. She detailed an altercation, a situation whereby she found herself in a car alone with Thabo Bester, and let's just say that things turned south when she says that Thabo Bester allegedly took out a knife and tried to unalive her. Now she said, well, she revealed that she was also a victim of Thabo Bester back in 2011. She said that she was, of course, lured in by him via Facebook post and was under the impression that they will be attending this TV hosting thing of some sort. Now she says that they drove off with Thabo Bester, of course, in the car, giving her different direction to the usual route. And she said that they approached a dead end, and that's when Bester pulled a knife on her and almost unalive her. Pearl Thusi told us this story whereby she said that that was the time when she was in the car with Thabo Bester to introduce him to Christ, and eventually even introduced him to her pastor, and that's how she got away. And a lot of people on social media are not believing what Pearl Thusi is telling them. They're saying that there is definitely more to the story. They've made such a lot of allegations as to what could possibly have transpired, with a lot making their own analogy as to maybe she was in a relationship with Thabo Bester, or maybe someone wrote that maybe she could possibly have gone through grief. She could have been raped by Thabo Bester. Someone alleged again, you guys, and said that, her story is so inconsistent. I mean, there's so many inconsistency to her story. Now, soon after Pearl Thusi going to that, soon after that interview, the documentary interview, a lot of old articles regarding Pearl Thusi's involvement with Thabo Bester has since resurfaced, and there's been a post which has been said by someone on Facebook, and an old article which was written by the Sunday World at the time reads as follows. The article reads, model and TV personality Pearl Thusi took convicted Facebook rapist and killer Thabo Bester to church and introduced him to celebrities, including actor Dumisho Masha and pastor Kumusho Kabelo Mabalani. Sunday World can today exclusively reveal that Bester's murder weapon, a sharp pocket knife, was found and retrieved from Thusi's Randburg home. A retired police officer who had a copy of an affidavit made by Thusi to the police showed Sunday World excerpt from it. In the statement, Thusi said she met Bester in June 2011 and almost became one of his victims. The statement, dated July the 3rd, 2012, reads, I drove slowly and began trying to negotiate with him. I asked him not to take my laptop because all my daughter's photos were there. He surprisingly agreed. He promised not to hurt me and told me he had already taken my phones, a BlackBerry and an iPhone. I offered him help that would be better than stealing. I asked him why he didn't build a better future. I offered him counseling at my church. I don't remember exactly when he gave me a knife or threw it to the back of my car. Thusi further stated that she and Bester met a pastor with whom she worked then drove past her home to collect her sister. I also collected a Bible and wrote a message in it and gave it to him. I drove to Santon at Kabelo Mabalani's home, you guys. Now, there's also a Facebook page that has resurfaced, which reads as follows. Now, you guys, a lot of South Africans are busy there on TikTok and Twitter, also on Facebook, busy dragging Pearl Thusi, saying that she would do anything for clout and that nothing actually happened, despite old articles surfacing, of course, proving that Pearl Thusi did open up about her experiences with Thabo Bester years ago. People are busy roasting Pearl Thusi, saying that she would do anything. A lot of people were saying that she should have just stayed at home because her story on the documentary had a lot of inconsistencies. What do you guys think about this? Please do engage your thoughts with me in the comment section down below. Also, like this video, share if you haven't yet done so, and do make sure that you do subscribe, of course, so that you do not have to miss out whenever I try to upload a new video.
I really don't know what to make of Pearl Thusi's story on Beauty and the Beast, because for me, I felt a bit confused and I felt like there was just parts that were missing. But I really don't know what to think of the story. And personally, I feel like she shouldn't have agreed to be part of this documentary. That's how I feel. I'm not taking away anything in terms of what she experienced, but I personally feel like she shouldn't have been part of the show. To be honest, I never expected any new discoveries in this whole documentary about Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipha. I just knew that they were going to cover things that's already online, stories that we already know that the media's reported on. But I had a chat with someone about this whole documentary, and I remember this person basically said to me, this might be for the international audience. And I do see it because Netflix is like a global platform where a lot more people will be able to watch it and basically know about the Dr. Nandipha and Thabo Bester case. And yeah, maybe it was actually made for the international audience or the global audience. not necessarily specifically made for South Africans. But yeah, I didn't expect any new discoveries to this thing, and I now get what this person was saying. I do see it. I think for me, this documentary kind of felt like it was a reminder that love can be blind. Love is blind and can make you do a lot of foolish stuff. And I think I got to understand Dr. Nandipha and Thabo Bester's relationship a bit more watching this documentary. There's VNs that I've heard before, there's VNs that I actually heard for the first time on the show. And they're really hectic, and it shows that Thabo Bester was like very controlling. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I'm not one to necessarily judge that easily, but yeah, Dr. Nandipha really messed up her life for nothing. Like, I don't think it was actually worth it. But yeah, please let me know in the comment section what you what did you think about Beauty and the Bester. What are some of the things that really stood out for you in this document?
Sometimes you need to be in the dark to find the light. Now, Pearl Thusi is trending. If you don't know why, it's because of a guy named Thabo Bester. Let me explain. See, Thabo Bester is one of the most popular criminals in South Africa. Why? Because he managed to escape. And you're wondering what's so special about him. See, he managed to escape from a maximum prison, but they eventually caught him and they sent him back into the country. But the most interesting thing about Thabo Bester, he was able to scam people inside the jail cell. And I'm not talking about a little scam, I'm talking about a big scam. He once threw a party while inside prison, and that party had A-list celebrities because people actually believed that he was a businessman that was outside the country. That's how good he was at scamming people. Now, here's the thing. Some of the crimes he's committed are so heinous that I can't say on TikTok because I will be violating some community guidelines. But Pearl Thusi says she had an encounter with Thabo Bester. See, he's a scammer. So he puts up a job opportunity, like modeling agency type of job opportunity. Pearl Thusi is interested. She goes to the job interview. And then she meets him there. He's like, yo, let's go to another location. This is where the other models will be. Pearl doesn't think anything of it. She's like, okay, let's go. She goes with him. Now, this is her telling the story. Where is she telling the story? On a documentary on Netflix. Remember, Netflix are now doing a documentary on Thabo Bester and Nandi. So now she says, yo, the next minute she sees Thabo Bester holding a knife. And then she looks at this location, they're at a dead end. Instead of panicking, she says, yo, I think this is the perfect time to turn your life to Christ. She says she continues, he listens to her, and thanks to her advice, they end up going to a pastor. Now, the pastor prays for him, and then after that, somehow there's a police patrolling or whatever, and she's like, yo, maybe you can go with the cops. Now, I don't understand where the story is really going, but it sounds all over the place. So people are like, yo, wait a minute, you telling me that you convinced the guy that was about to kill you to actually go to a pastor so they could pray for him? And she says, yeah. So Noda now gets involved. She says, no, that story was a lie, allegedly. So this is what Noda says. Noda says, yo, Pearl and Thabo were dating. In fact, she told the police where the bodies were. And that's how the police found the body. Because every time Thabo Bester would threaten her, she would he would take Pearl to where the bodies are and actually be like, yo, this is where you'll end up if you don't listen to me. Now, everything I'm saying here is allegedly, I don't know, but this is basically why she's trending. So some people also are saying Pearl is just lying just to get some attention. Allegedly, she's dating some guy in Netflix who has a position. That's how she got the role on Queen Sonia. This is also allegedly. So everything here I'm saying is allegedly because I don't want to get into trouble because this story is too much. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what did we learn today?